Good evening. I'm Thomas Tarter. In just a little over a minute, the first polls will close in 6 states, including the swing state of Georgia. Earlier today, we got results from Dixville, New Hampshire, where Vice President Harris won 4 out of 6 ballots casted in the small New Hampshire town. Both candidates want to call that place home after tonight, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, in our nation's capital. We are just seconds away from the first poll closings of the night. It's 7 o'clock on the East Coast, and we are projecting that former President Trump will win the state of Indiana, the home state of his former Vice President Mike Pence. In Kentucky, no surprise here, former President Trump will win his 8 electoral votes. In Vermont, Vice President Harris is on the board with the Green Mountain State's 3 electoral votes. In Georgia, a state Vice President Harris had eagle eyes on, is still too close to call. In Virginia, it is still too close to call in the former hotbed for conservative activism, now turned blue. In former President Trump's home state of Florida, it is too early to call. We will not get results out of the panhandle portion of the state until 8 p.m. tonight. And in South Carolina, it's still too early to call. In just a half hour, the polls will close in 3 states, including J.D. Vance's home state of Ohio, where there is a closely watched Senate race between Republican Bernie Moreno and incumbent Democrat Sherrod Brown, as well as in the battleground North Carolina, where there is a closely watched governor's race between the state's incumbent Republican Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson and the incumbent Democratic Attorney General of the state, Josh Stein. We will toss it over to our correspondent, who is standing by at the Watauga County Board of Elections in Boone, North Carolina, to give us early vote totals in North Carolina, after word from our sponsor. It's 7:30 on the East Coast. The polls have closed in 3 states, and we are projecting that former President Trump will win the state of West Virginia, where his approval rating is one of the highest in the country. In Ohio, it is still too close to call in the presidential race between former President Trump and Vice President Harris, as well as in the Senate race between the Trump-endorsed Bernie Moreno and incumbent Senator Sherrod Brown. In North Carolina, it's still too close to call in the presidential race, as well as the hotly contested governor's race between the Trump-endorsed Mark Robinson and Democratic incumbent Attorney General Josh Stein. We are getting new numbers in the state of Georgia. I am going to toss it over to our Peach State correspondent, who is standing by in Atlanta. He will give us the latest numbers coming in from Georgia after this short break. Stay tuned.